Well, let's see how this goes, shall we? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I know. Before anybody pops in, I wanted to say thanks for the comments on my last live that aren't there. If you happen to go by and look at the thumbnail, I think I had 9 or 10 comments, but there's only one there. It's the thought that counts. Don't get frustrated. If you leave a comment and I don't return it, it's only because I didn't see it. My childish troll stalker just doesn't know how to grow up. So thank you again. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Oh, man. Mighty cold. 17 below today, and I don't think it got over 2 below. And I think on Tuesday, it's getting ready to drop down to, I think it was 26 or 27 below, and it's not supposed to get over 5 below. So mighty cold up my way. Gone John's in the house. What's happening, homie? Hi, Johnny. Good day, my friend. Well, thank you. The kid. Damn, it's cold. Can't wait till winter is over. God bless. You and me both, dude. I'm done with this cold weather. I'm done with this state of Wisconsin. I can't wait to get back to Cali. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of people getting some cold weather that normally don't. All the folks down south. I think they're talking snow in Texas and Florida and all kinds of craziness. Not to mention the Prez moved his inauguration inside because it's going to be so damn cold. Folks in the audience will look like popsicles. Not to mention, I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot safer for him indoors than it is outside. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So how you guys doing this evening? Gone John? Kid? Hope life's treating you well. I know it's a little chilly. 10 and 3. Thanks for the thumbs up. And thanks for the comments. Like I was just saying, if you go on my last live and look at the thumbnail, I took a screenshot of the stats in the background, and it shows I got 9 or 10 comments, but there's only one there. Oh, my poor YouTube channel. Oh, it sucks having a stalker. What are you gonna do? Boom a zoom zoom and a boom boom. Thinking of going back to South Texas. Are you, kid? Be a lot warmer than where you're at if memory serves. 13 and 3. Thanks again. I appreciate you guys. Oh, man. Another long week. Another tough week. There's this thing they call the dark night of the soul. If you go on YouTube and you look that up, you can find all kinds of information. And Raymond, Sacramento, Cali. Hello, good to see you. Good to see you, Raymond. Always a pleasure. They're supposed to get ice down there, too. Yeah, I bet they are. I bet they are. Yeah, like I was getting ready to say, doing homework, trying to keep things in perspective. Life's been pretty tough for a lot of reasons. And get out here, sound like a broken record. I keep talking about the dogs and the neighbors and all the nonsense, but bottom line is I got to find a way to keep my mud together and get through this hard time and get back home. And so I spend a lot of time doing homework, trying to find ways to cope with life when it gets tough, you know. Been getting a great deal of dark thoughts. I don't need to get into specifics, but when you go through life and it seems like it's a struggle, no matter what you do, you just can't seem to get any traction. And then you come up with a solid plan. Me and my ideas for this dog rescue, I've been on this for 13 years. And moving up here 3 years ago and having it turn into a shitstorm really derailed me in more ways than one. And then the dogs passing away on top of all that really fucked me up. And I never had dark thoughts. I don't need to get into what that means. I think most of you know what that means. Like I've said before, there's some days I just don't want to be here no more. But some of them thoughts get pretty heavy. And something I've never had to deal with before, struggle with. But I'm far from the only one. And there's always a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and all that bullshit. And I get back to Cali and I get moved up into the gold country. Johnny will find his gold nugget and life will be good again. But as long as I'm stuck here in northern Wisconsin, it's going to be a little rough, man. It's going to be a little rough. But you good folks help me get through. You do. Your positive comments down below and whatnot, it helps. And I wanted to show my appreciation. It gives me faith in humanity that there's still some good folks left out there and not everybody's a fucking stalker. Anyway, trying to stay upbeat and on a positive note. I don't want to be sitting here pissing in everybody's ear, but this past week was tough. I tried to make a video several times. I was like, man, you're just not in the mood. Come out here and you know what I'm saying. Anyway. 5 and 5, even Steven. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. I guess the shitheads decided to cut out. Man, I sure hope old Donald Trump does what he says. Say what you mean and mean what you say. He's got big plans, and from what it sounds like, he wants to kick them off right away. So I'm sure that's going to stir the pot for a while, but when the dust settles, hopefully things get moving in the right direction. I heard something about he wants to abolish the IRS and get revenue from tariffs instead of taxes and whatnot. That'd go a long way to put more money in the pockets of people here in this country and help boost the economy. If you ain't got to feed the IRS all your taxes and whatnot, you got that little bit of extra money, then you got a little dough to go shopping or buy a better house and whatnot. And if he gets after all this mass deportation, I mean, there's a lot of good Americans that are out of work. And there's a lot of folks here that aren't American citizens taking up jobs that would go to people from this country. And I'm not trying to bash on folks that are here in this country illegally, but, you know, it's our taxes that feed them with the EBT card. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't right. The good folks that were born in this country should come first. Their mom, their dad, their grandmas, and their grandpas pay taxes. You know, and it just ain't right. And it's not a matter of hating somebody's skin color or whatnot. Everybody gets hung up on all this bullshit. Not to mention how many shitty people have crossed that southern border that want to bring us harm. And the fact that the last president just left the door wide open is, it's a crime. You know, that's another thing. I hope Trump holds some people accountable for their bad actions. Too many politicians have got away with murder, and you hold them accountable, it puts everybody on Front Street, you know? Good folks voted people into office to do a job, not push their personal agendas. And I mean, you can look for yourself the kind of condition this country's in. It's pitiful. And it shouldn't be like this. We're a very wealthy nation. And for all the homeless people that are on the street, that don't make no kind of sense to me, man. None whatsoever. Karina's in the house. How you doing, young lady? Always a pleasure. Good to see you. Happy birthday pretty soon. I think you said the 23rd. I'm going to try to get over and wish you a happy birthday on the 23rd. Oh, man. I can't wait to see what this next 4 years brings. Can't wait to see what spring brings. I can't wait to get out of here. I'm so tired of living in this state. It was such a huge mistake for me to move up here. But I learned a great deal. It was an eye-opening experience, to say the least. But every dark cloud has a silver lining, and I learned a great deal while I was here. Learned a lot about myself and about being too damn angry, and, you know, how much that cost me. And looking back and thinking about me hollering at my dogs, man, left me feeling like a real asshole. And when I get me a couple more dogs, that'll never happen again. Same thing with my friends back home. Mend some fences, some long overdue apologies, repair the relationship with my brother, and if I'm real lucky, maybe I'll hear from my daughter. Sure would be nice. I miss that kid. Karina, Johnny, my birthday live stream is Jan 23rd at 6 p.m. There you go, girlfriend. I knew you said the 23rd, but I'll remember 6 p.m. Eastern. 64 Flyers in the house. Hello, brother. Hope you're doing well, and I can't wait to see you with some dogs. Ooh, boy, you and me both, brother. You and me both. I fight the urge every day. I follow a lot of pit bull and doggy stuff on YouTube, and I'm always seeing these cute little puppies and whatnot and dog rescues, and I want to adopt a couple dogs so bad, but knowing everything I got to go through and this bad weather and whatnot, it'd just be way too selfish for me to run out and get a couple dogs right now. But boy, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh. Life will be good again. Right now, it's the shits, to be quite honest. I mean, I moved up here 3 years ago. There was a lady in town through the YouTube channel. I've said this before. She befriended me, called me Papa on the YouTube channel. Back then I was doing the INFJ personality thing, and she had a little YouTube channel. It was the same thing, and that's the only reason I found this town. You know, she said a prayer for me once over the phone. Nobody had ever done that before. And I thought, man, nice church-going folks that say prayers for each other. That must be a cool place to live. And was I wrong? Fuck. But I'll take these lessons with me when I go back home. There's no doubt about it. I'm not the same person I was when I moved here. Not even close. And for that, I owe this little town a debt of gratitude. Learning how angry I was and letting that go and forgiving these people for what they did and whatnot. It's helped me out a great deal. Does the big house have a fireplace? It does. It's not a wood-burning fireplace. It's just a gas fireplace, so I don't use it. I try not to burn through the propane. In fact, I keep the thermostat in the house down pretty low. Back when I had the doggies here, I'd keep it nice and warm in the house, and I'd burn through quite a bit of propane. But now I keep the stat down low 60s, and I just bundle up. I used to burn the fireplace when I had the dogs in the big house before we went in the back house because of privacy issues and whatnot. Oh, and thanks again, you guys. I see 11 of those up there. Been doing a little homework on real estate, looking at stuff back home and pricing stuff here in town, and I think I'll be all right. Come spring, I just got to figure out how to come up with a solid plan to get all my shit out of here, get it up for sale, and get back home. No place like home. No doubt about it. 12. Thanks, guys. Laguna Beach. I don't know much about Laguna Beach. I know Moss Beach. That just caught on fire. That big electrical plant with all those lithium ion batteries that just burn up, Moss Beach. We used to ride our Harleys down there. It's just south of Santa Cruz. Or is it before Santa Cruz? It's before Santa Cruz, coming from Frisco. I used to do a lot of riding on the California coast back in the day. That's another thing I'm looking forward to, getting back to Cali, is getting back on my Harley. That is therapy, boy. Getting in the wind, riding by myself, and just enjoying the view, pipes blasting in your ear, and you just... I miss it. It's been a long time since I've been doing any real riding. I used to work for a Harley dealership in San Jose, California. Used to work for a little independent bike shop in Mountain View, California. And I used to work for an Indian Motorcycle in Redwood City. So my my love for Harleys goes way back. There's nothing like it, man. It's great therapy. I miss it. I might get rid of one of the bikes, but I'll keep one of them for sure. Need to off a couple of trucks, lighten the load, get rid of some crap that I don't really need before I move. Got a lot to do this spring. Jay, what's happening? Amen. It's been a while. I've been locked up for the last 6 months. How you been living? Well, Jay, I'm glad to hear you're out in fresh air, my brother. And as far as what's been happening with me, it's been a little rough, bro. My 2 dogs passed away. Stuck in this town, surrounded by people that hate me. I recently listened to... I follow a lot of Navy SEALs and Green Berets and whatnot, folks like JohnnyO and the rest of them. And I watched a podcast, and it was this gentleman that was from, his family was from Lebanon, but he was born here in this country. And he was talking about when he was a kid, they lived in Wisconsin until they got chased out. I'm telling you, man, I've never seen so many haters in my life until I moved to this state. Back in Cali, it's a melting pot. I grew up in a black neighborhood during part of my childhood, and I got some hate from some black folks and some white folks. I had a lot of friends that were Hispanic and black, and was called a wannabe by folks of color, and was called an in lover by some folks with the same skin color. You know what I'm saying? Because I liked listening to soul music and smoke cool cigarettes when I moved from Redwood City to South City, and it was a predominantly middle class white neighborhood. But as a kid, I was a lowrider. And mom was colorblind. She wasn't a hater. She didn't raise us to be a hater. Even though the black guy downstairs did what he did, and I wanted to smash him with a hammer, Mom said, you can't blame a whole race of people because of what one man did. And so she learned me at an early age not to be a hater. There are bad people everywhere, regardless of skin color. White, black, brown. On the inside, we're all the same. Well said, Putty Cat. Oh, I missed your first comment. Hey, Johnny, hope you are doing well. Going to be a cold night. I know, girlfriend. It was 17 below today, and the high was 2 or 3 below. And in 2 days, it's supposed to be 27 below, and the high is supposed to be 5 below. But I know you guys down in Florida are about to get hit with some real cold weather. Real cold weather. Happy almost MLK Day and Inauguration Day. Yes, ma'am. Inauguration Day, boy. I'm hoping there's some good changes coming. I just watched a podcast, and they were talking about how a lot of folks think Trump is a hater, And they're so ignorant. Trump's had people of color in his life many times, and he's a businessman, not a hater. But the snowflakes sure try to twist shit up, I'll tell you. Jay, I'm glad to be home, man. Definitely looking forward to fixing myself up and taking care of myself and my family. I hate to hear you are not doing so good. I hate to hear that, man. Well, thank you for your sympathies, Jay. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been tough, brother. I'm sure your dog's got you tore up. Yes, sir. It's been rough. It's been rough. The thing about my dogs, most folks don't get it. Oh, it's just a dog. Not for me. I was closer to that little dog, Kimba, than I was to any human on this planet. I spent more man hours with her than my own family. And that little dog really helped me through some hard times. So when she died, it couldn't have hurt any more than if you lose a child. I don't care what nobody says. I was really close to that dog. Really close. And the world in general don't get it. But I got more love from that dog, like I said, than my own family. It just is what it is. But I'm still here, so I'll get me some more dogs and start all over. The kid. They like hitting him till he ran for president. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, Kelly's in the house. Good to see you, Kelly. Always a pleasure. Mike Burton, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. And thanks again, you guys, for hitting that button. Appreciate you. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back home. Couple dogs, get out on the Harley, go get some tattoos, get back to my old self. I'm really looking forward to it. A dog won't lie to you. A dog won't steal from you. They are truly a man's best friend. Jay, I couldn't have said it better myself, brother. You're absolutely right. They got that unconditional love thing down to a science, man. Dogs don't hold a grudge. Even when you're acting up and hollering at them and whatnot, they still love you, man. They really do. And you're right about everything else, man. They are the perfect companion. And if you're fortunate enough to have a good wife or a good husband, well, you're one of the lucky few. The kid. Deer still coming around? I've seen a little bit of tracks in the yard yesterday and today, but not much, man. It's been pretty quiet for the deer. Like I was saying in that other live, when I went grocery shopping with my neighbor, he was telling me that there was a wolf down on the river by his place, and he lives right down the road from me. And so if we got some wolves in the neighborhood, it's no wonder the deer are scarce, because nobody hunts on my property. I got 30 acres, so the deer have always felt safe on my property. But they got to come here from somewhere. And if there's wolves hunting in the neighborhood, you know how it goes. But I haven't seen much for turkey either. And usually I see flocks of turkey all the time, but I've seen a couple turkey track, but not much. Man, I'm not looking forward to this cold weather. And it's going to be like this for the next couple months at least. Oh, it sucks. But I'll be back in Cali sooner or later. Hopefully sooner than later. Oh, thanks again, you guys. We're up to 14. You got snowpack, maybe 3 or 4 inches, man. I'm hoping it's enough to keep the frost from going down into the ground too deep. Last thing I need is my septic freeze up, and then I got to call somebody to come out here and heat it up, and I bet that'll cost a fortune. So hopefully there's enough snow on the ground. Something I didn't even think about. As a matter of fact, shit. My big monster truck, that Ford 7.3 diesel, my fuel gelled up on me. I couldn't get the damn thing to start. And so I had to get some fuel additive. And then I picked up a couple electric blankets, put one on the motor, put one underneath the gas tank. I got that motherfucker started. It was a good feeling. So now I got the fuel additive in there, so at least I don't have to worry about that. I'm a greenhorn. I don't know shit about living in below zero. You know what I'm saying? But survival of the fittest and all that. Yeah. Fuck this cold weather. I had enough. I liked the snow when I first got here. It was fun getting out there with the snow blower, and it was so beautiful. And when there's snow all over the place, it's real quiet, and look at the tracks in the yard and all that. But I had enough. I had enough. I want no more fucking cold weather. And I was pricing stuff back home. If I move up into the gold country, I can afford it. And I lived there before I came here. I lived in Grass Valley. And it's beautiful. Trees and all that. And I ain't worried about the damn fires. keep the trees away from your house, put some sprinklers on the roof, and I don't need no fire insurance. And whatever I get out of this place, I got to buy something and pay for it in full because there's no way I could afford fire insurance. Not to mention, you probably can't even get it anymore after what just happened down in LA. Living in the forest, ain't nobody going to insure you. It's crazy to me what's happened, like in Maui, that fire over there, and then down in LA and up in Northern California. Back, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, they had a big fire up there. Town of Paradise burnt down. Good old Gavin Newsom was having dinner with the lawyer for PG&E, who was the cause of the fire in Northern Cali, and they got off the hook, man. People in Paradise got screwed. And now you watch what happens to these people in LA. How many people are going to get screwed over? It's sad, man. Kelly, a friend of mine has cancer in his bones. Oh, shit, dude. A wise man told me if you have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, you shit all over today, one day at a time, and there is power in prayer. God bless. Thank you for that, Kelly. I appreciate that very much. And I try to stay present. I do. And occupy my mind with positive stuff and get after stuff without tripping on things too much. But it's been hard, man. Without the dogs here. And I'll tell you what, isolation, I mean, granted, I've never done any time in prison, but my heart goes out to anybody that's isolated, truly isolated. I go days without talking to nobody. Unless I come on here and make a video, I don't say nothing. Day after day after day, if I don't get on the phone or I don't make a video, pretty hard to go day after day without even having a conversation, man. It fucks with you. It does. Get all these dark thoughts, man. And I've never experienced that before, I watched my mom and my brother both try to leave this planet early at their own hand. But I've never struggled with any dark thoughts. But been plenty of times where it's just like, man, I don't want to be here no more. I just don't want to be here no more, But I got my eye on the prize and getting back home and getting back on a solid routine. Those dark thoughts will be gone for good. And once I get back to Cali, I ain't never leaving. Well, I don't want to say never because you just don't know what happens, but I got no desire to leave Cali once I get there. No water to put out the fires. Kind of odd. Yeah, brother. A lot of things about that LA fire is highly suspicious, to say the least. Highly suspicious. Same thing with Maui. What happened in Maui? People have short-term memory loss. A lot of shady shit. And there was a lot of people that lived in the neighborhood that burnt down, that been there generation after generation. Their homes were, paid off. They probably didn't have any fire insurance and they're poor, so they can't rebuild. And now people with all the money are going to go in there and scoop up that property, and the poor folks are screwed over once again. It's sad. And the thing about the fire down in SoCal, that neighborhood was a lot of wealthy people. So, they'll manage one way or another because they got money. But when you're poor and you got everything in your house, all your family wealth is your home, and it gets burnt to the ground, you're screwed. And what happened in Maui, a lot of poor folks lost the only thing they had, and that was their home. They didn't have no money to rebuild, and I bet you they didn't have any fire insurance. I mean, who the fuck would think about having fire insurance in Maui? I mean, come on. State Farm canceled the fire coverage 4 months ago. Kind of odd. There you go, kid, once again. And there's a lot of people talking about it. I'll be surprised if Gavin Newsom keeps his job. He needs to get the boot. They need to recall that dude. He's pretty powerful, though. He's got ties to Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi. His political ties run very deep. But that dude needs to get booted out of office. The way he handled shit and just, how that reservoir didn't have no water in it and whatnot. And the nice thing about social media, everybody's talking about it. So I'll be surprised if his career withstands all of the criticism he's getting right now. Criminals. Amen, kid. Couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. We're up to 14. Yeah. Criminals. I'll be curious to see what happens after Trump's in office, because that's going to be a hot topic. People will be pushing legislation to figure out a way to get people fire insurance, affordable fire insurance. I'm sure there's going to be building, what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to have to make your house out of stucco and metal and concrete, right? So that, especially down there with the Santa Ana winds, I'm sure there's houses that survived that fire because they were fire resistant because of the materials they're made out of. A metal roof, whatnot, makes a big difference. I'm sure they'll enact laws where you have to have sprinkler systems on any new homes and whatnot, which is the way it should be. If you live in a place where you got those kinds of winds and dense vegetation, and the fact that good old Gavin Newsom never cleared the forest like he should, and he promised to do that, and he didn't spend any money on it. Instead, he wasted a bunch of money on a high-speed rail that he never finished. The money that he wasted on high-speed rail, had he put that into managing the forest, those people would still have their homes. There's no doubt about it. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of people talking the same shit. He needs to go. I can't stand that dude. He's so cocky. And you see when he was dancing, talking about how investors are going to come in there and buy the properties and whatnot, and he's all happy, and what a douchebag. What a douchebag. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. And now the big thing is, I guess, TikTok, whatever the hell it is. I don't know anything about it. I've never been on it. But I was talking to my boy Dave Dog back home, and we were talking about how when you sign to get TikTok on your gadget, you allow them to have access to all your information and whatnot because they're out of China. I don't know, man. I don't know. But there's going to be some big changes coming. And you know how that goes, man. You start ruffling feathers when you try to push for change. Because the prior administration, when you look at everything they did, and now Trump's going to try to undo all of that, secure the southern border, tariffs on China, tariffs on Canada, tariffs on Mexico, try to get rid of the IRS. Trump's got the right idea, but he's going to have a lot of resistance. There's no doubt about it. But he's the kind of guy that doesn't take no for an answer. He usually gets what he wants. And I could give a shit who's president, Republican, Democrat. All I care about is do your damn job, take care of the people that pay your fucking wages, and be honest, right? Say what you mean and mean what you say. But, politics just doesn't work that way. That's why I don't pick a side. I don't give a shit. They gutted the Los Angeles Fire Department budget and focused on DEI. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right, Putty Cat. And everybody knows it. Everybody's talking about it. Like I said, that's the good thing about social media. Everybody thinks they're a newscaster. Not to mention, there are YouTube channels that I follow for news stations back home, and when you look at their subscriptions, and then there's independent news channels that I follow on YouTube, and their subscriptions are through the roof. So when it comes to believing the local news and whatnot, they're already one foot out the door. Nobody believes the local news anymore. Fired 130 firemen for not taking the jab. Yeah. Like I said, social media has exposed a lot of people. And when it comes to the jab and all that nonsense, all the crap they used to push about all this stuff and how they lied repeatedly, and whoever that little clown was that was pushing that crap, all of the mandates and closing the businesses and closing the restaurants, and how many people lost their businesses because of that. And now all this bullshit talk about the bird flu. And I saw something about the first case of the bird flu in a human was in San Francisco. But I also saw the same thing about, I think it was Louisiana. They said the first case was there. So, I was talking to my boy back home. I said, dude, man, when I heard that, I was worried about you, because he's got tattoo shop. He's got one in Maui and one in Frisco and one down in San Diego. And if they make small businesses close the doors because we get another pandemic floating around, he won't survive. I mean, he made it through the last one, but, it devastated his business. And, I mean, just go to wherever you live, and I'm sure you still see a whole bunch of businesses boarded up. Because those people lost those businesses, and, they were replaced by tents on the sidewalk. It's sad, man. It's sad. And my heart goes out to the homeless. It always has. Anybody that's struggling so bad that they don't even have a roof over their head, that just crushes me, man. No excuse for it. All the rich people in this country, they don't give a shit. They just want their espresso. Fuck. I'm looking forward to this next 4 years with Trump in office. I just hope he survives it, man. I hope he don't turn into another JFK. JFK was another one that tried to make big changes. Talking about the military-industrial complex and all that. And look what happened to him. And they already tried to get Trump twice. Keeping my fingers crossed. He gets to finish what he started. And like I said, to me, it ain't about a Republican and a Democrat. It's about an American who cares about his fellow Americans, not his Republicans or his Democrats. Love thy neighbor. Kind act for a stranger. Charity starts at home, you know. Take care of your babies, and if you got a little extra, you see that homeless guy on the street, swing into the coffee shop and grab him a hot cup of coffee and a donut. That's the country. That's what makes America great. We've always been a caring country, right? Not like Russia or China, where they just shit all over their people and treat them like slaves, but, you know, land of the free, home of the brave. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, damn it. That's why Trump talking about make America great again. Ronald Reagan started that. And he almost bit the farm. You guys been keeping up on the drones? I heard we were supposed to get disclosure. There's this guy, Stephen Greer, big Einstein-y doctor. He's a doctor, but he's all into the UFO stuff. And he was saying we were going to get disclosure before Trump came into office. But I've heard that shit before. But the drones are still out there flying around. That's another thing Trump said. On the 21st, we're going to know all about the drones. So I'm real curious to see if he comes out and says what he says about the drones. Let's see, Putty Cat. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. Amen. There is no commandant gather. Oh man, COMM mandant gather than these. Mark 12:31. Sorry, Putty Cat, I slaughtered that, but I know what you're talking about. The good book, you know. Bringing God back into the country. You know what I'm saying? Saying prayers in elementary school and pledge allegiance to the flag. And, you know, I don't care. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God very much. Very much. You know, one church has one opinion, another church has another opinion, and before you know it, they're hating on each other. And that ain't what God wanted. You're absolutely right, Putty Cat. Charity, kind act for a stranger. That's all over the Bible. It makes me sad thinking how far down the toilet this country has gone in such a short period of time. You know, when I was a kid, telephone was bolted to the wall. You went outside and played with your friends. You weren't sitting at home on your gadget when you're 4, 5, 6 years old. You interacted with each other. You went outside and played. The world's changed a lot with technology. And it could have done a lot of good for this country, for this world. But instead, it's made it worse. You know, getting back to that UFO thing, technology has progressed so rapidly in my lifetime that I'm a firm believer we got some technology from the little green guys. It doesn't make sense any other way. How we've progressed so rapidly with technology in one lifetime, but yet for century after century, things didn't change very much. You know, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, you had fads, you know, the hippies or the beatniks, you know, or the squares. But now it's bizarre to me. Instead, you got guys like George Soros getting on the gadget and poisoning the brains of the younger generation. One life matters more than another life, right? Division, getting people to hate on each other. Because if you're hating on each other, it makes it easier for them to run this shit show. You always know when we have a press for the people, they die. There you go, kid. Putty Cat. Above all, love each other deeply because love covers over a multitude of sins. There you go, Putty Cat. Good for you. I like it. I like it. You're absolutely right. You know, and that's my point. Back in the day, there was a lot more love on this planet. That was the hippies, man. They were all about peace, love, and joy. That was their motto. And look what happened to them. Charlie Manson and Richard Nixon killed the hippies, man. The hippies had the right idea. They might have been a little lazy and didn't want to work, but they weren't a bunch of haters. They loved everybody of every color and whatnot. They didn't, anyway, they had the right idea. It wasn't about one life mattered more than another one, you know. We all matter. Everybody matters. Trump gets that, you know. He talks about making America great again. He doesn't talk about this life matters more than another life, you know. Biden and his his vice president, they were all about skin color. You know, white people were prejudiced. Sad. Sad the kind of crap they pushed. It caused a lot of division in this country. It really did. Like I said, my mom didn't raise me to be a hater. My wife was half black. Sadly, she denied that. See, she said she was Polynesian, Portuguese, and Italian. And her mom was dark-skinned as they come. I've seen so much in this life. And it truly breaks my heart to see how far backwards we've come in my lifetime. So much more division in this world now than there was when I was a kid. The little rascals, man. Spanky and Alfalfa and Buckwheat, everybody playing together. Little Petey, right? The Bowery Boys, the Waltons, Dennis the Menace. I go on and on about old TV shows. Because when I was a kid, life was tough, right? Mom struggled, and a lot of drama and whatnot in the house, and I would get lost watching TV. I used to get teased that I was a TV-aholic, but it was my escape. You know, I'd get lost watching Lost in Space, Star Trek. I was a big sci-fi kid too. Cartoons, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Good wholesome TV back in the day. Now TV's nothing more than propaganda, movies too, you know. And just wait till AI takes over. There won't be any more Hollywood actors and whatnot. They'll all be computer generated bullshit. Life must be life's most persistent and unique question is, what are you doing for others? Martin Luther King. There you go. There you go, Putty Cat. I like your style, young lady. I like your style. Mm-mm-mm. Daydreaming about the good old days. Life was so much simpler. Before you could get online, you didn't know what was going on around the world. You weren't distracted by Russia and China and the wars and all the nonsense. You caught the local news, watched Lawrence Welk and big time wrestling. Back when news was real news, they had to verify their stories with two independent whatevers, right, back in the day. Macho's in the house. Good to see you, young lady. Hey, I caught your video about Macho being depressed. He might be a little jealous, young lady. Give him some extra love. You know what I'm saying? Because when you give the new puppy some attention, he's probably a little fussy. And it's going to take a little time for him to adjust. So don't be too hard on yourself. I know you sounded pretty sad about him being depressed, and I get it because he's not feeling good. But just give him some extra love and cuddles and, you know, get him on the bed and just spoon him. He'll be all right. That's Macho. That's what somebody said, but he's been depressed for a while. I think it's the cancer. Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably pretty uncomfortable because he's probably not, he's probably in some pain. Don't feel good. And like I said, all you can do is love him. Just give him lots of love, lots of snuggles and pets and whatnot, and keep him as comfortable as you can. That's all you can do, young lady. I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to the doggies, especially when they're sick. I struggled for a long time with Mama Dog. It's shitty when they get sick. It's not fair that they don't live longer. Not much about life that's fair, you know? Get all choked up when it comes to the doggies, man. Can't help it. Ugh. I'm just a big softie when it comes to that stuff. Dogs are so special. It's that unconditional love thing. Humans could learn something from their dogs. Oh, thanks again, you guys. Appreciate you. Our politicians could learn some stuff from the dogs. Anyway. Oh, look at that. We're all the way up to 17. Boo-boo. Batchett's in the house. Hey, folks. Good to see you, young man. Always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. And like I was saying back at the beginning of this live, if anybody out there has left comments and I didn't respond. It's because they disappeared. I appreciate all you good folks, and when you take the time to leave a comment on one of my videos, it's very much appreciated. Like I said, if you go look at my last live, you look at the thumbnail, it shows a screenshot of the background. There was like 9, 10 comments, but yet there was only one up there from Cindy. Shitty people. Like we were just talking about, people don't know how to treat each other. They go out of their way to fuck with a stranger, you know? It's another thing. Kids learning how to be a troll. What the fuck is wrong with people, man? What would possess you to want to be a troll? To go online and go fuck with somebody you never met? You know, when I was a kid, there were some bullies. But bullies would usually get it handed to them eventually. Somebody would stick up to a bully and put a whooping on them because they deserved it. Sometimes it'd be 2 or 3 kids would team up on the bully, right? Because some bullies were big and strong and they'd push their weight around because their dad used to whoop on them too much or something and they were broken, right? That's usually what creates a bully, is they get their ass kicked by their dad or whatever, or life just fucks them up and they take it out on other people. But a lot of these kids, they troll and they think it's funny. They think it's funny to fuck with a stranger. To me, that's mental illness, right? You really got to be fucked up in the head when you don't have a good reason to fuck with somebody. You know, it's one thing if somebody fucks with you and then you do it back because they started it. That's different. But to get online and go troll somebody for a laugh, I've been trolled so much on this gadget, it's not even funny. But the trolls don't come in here much anymore. They don't get a rise out of me the way they used to. I used to get so angry. But since my dogs passed away, I learned the hard way about letting go of all the stuff that makes me mad. Now I just got to get a little bit better with this sadness. See, my childhood, growing up in foster homes and all the stuff with mom and all that crap, gave me this lousy case of complex PTSD, and the shrinks call it being dysregulated. I call it being broken. Angry and sad. Not much happiness. Happiness is in the middle. For me, it was angry and sad. The anger has subsided a great deal. You guys don't see me out here yelling and screaming no more. And anybody that's been around here long enough, you know how I used to be. I don't do that no more. I don't talk about these people in this town no more. It just made my life worse. That I learned. But as far as the sadness, I'm too damn sensitive. All caught up on the comments. Thanks again. Woo-hoo, look at that. We're almost up to 20. Nice. This poor YouTube channel, it takes such a beating. Such a beating. Oh, but that's okay. I like it cozy. I don't get I don't get upset with the trolls taking down comments and whatnot. It just makes me feel bad for you guys. Go out of your way to put a comment up there and it disappears. That ain't right. Just silly trolls doing their bullshit. And the sad truth is, there's a lot of adults out there that act like they're 12 years old. I swear. It's crazy to me. Grow the fuck up. Well, tomorrow will be a big day. Old Donald Trump will be sworn into office. Crazy. So bizarre to me. The last 8 years, 4 years, well, longer than that. The last 16 years A lot of the bullshit started when Barack Obama came into office. Him and Hillary Clinton really fucked this country up something fierce, man. It's going to take a while for this country to get back on its feet. If Trump follows through with his promises and brings back jobs, we'll be all right. But there's a lot of people that are out of work, and there's going to be a lot more people losing their jobs because of all this AI crap and robotics and all the rest of it. And if we don't have good jobs for folks, and I think I saw a stat where there's 2 million people on unemployment. That's a lot of people out of work. And your unemployment only lasts for 6 months. And when that evaporates and you don't have a job, you're fucking homeless, man. We're going to find out here pretty quick. No doubt about it. 19. Almost there. Oh. Got kind of quiet down in the chat. Might have to go eat me some dinner. How long I've been on here? A little over an hour. Well, I'll be patient and see if anybody else pops in. I always like seeing the regulars. Like I said, it's nice. No trolls down there talking shit anymore. It's pleasant. You know, back in the day when I was doing all my yelling and screaming, dysregulated and whatnot, I had a live that got up to 1,400. There were 1,400 people in on one live. I ain't seen a stat like that in a long, long time. Drama sells, you know. Me being angry and yelling and screaming, this channel was banging. I'd get a dozen subscribers in one live, one video. It was crazy. Now I watch the view count go in the opposite direction. But I like it a lot more now. Coming out here and having good conversations with you good folks, it's pleasant. And the fact that, you know, my whole crazy idea having a dog rescue went into the toilet. I was hoping YouTube was going to be a commercial for my dog rescue, and with a little bit of luck, I'd get some traction and get a little viral, and I'd find 10 people to move onto this property with me and save 100 dogs. That was my ultimate goal. Best laid plans. Now I just want to get back home and get me a half dozen dogs to my head, and that'll be just fine. Ignorance, free time, or worse. There you go, bad shit. Couldn't have said it better myself when it comes to the trolls. Just like the folks in this town. Complete strangers fucking with me. Lying in a courtroom and all the rest of it, man. Too much time on their hands, bored in this little town. Hating on a stranger that they don't even know because I got tattoos and I came from California. But yet, the only reason I came here was to start a charity. Not start a fight with the neighbors. They brought the fight to my front door. Like I said, I learned a lot coming to this little town. You know, growing up the way I did in foster homes and in California, nothing like Wisconsin. But it was a good life lesson. And I'll take it with me when I get back home. There's no doubt about it. I'm a much better person than I used to be. The Lord works in mysterious ways. There's no doubt about it. And he taught me a great deal. He brought me here on a prayer, and maybe I needed to get my ass kicked to let go of that anger. And like I said, I'll take that with me when I get back home. Again, agricultural tax exemption land if available. Thanks, Batshit. I appreciate that, young man. Yeah, well, I don't care what kind of exemption I could get for this property. It's not safe here for me. There's people in this town that would like to bring me harm. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. A lot of haters. I'll get back to California, find me a little spot up in the gold country. I don't care if I got 1 acre. Just so I got a little elbow room, that's all. I don't need 30 acres. I'm not going to have 10 people to share the property with and all that nonsense. I gave up on that dream. You know, this was my one shot. I'm 62 years old. I'm too old. I had somebody come out here on one of the lives talking about, oh, I love what you're saying. You're just like me. I'll help you get back home and all this bullshit. Oh, catfishing. I'll tell you though, if I ever hit the lotto, I'd do it big back home. If I ever came into a big chunk of money, Johnny would have his dog rescued. There's no doubt about it. I'd find me 10 people and I'd pick them right off the street. Somebody living in a tent. Come on. We're going to go save some dogs. I'd find me a mother and her 2 kids that are living in a tent. Man, when you buy dirt, difficult to acquire typically. Oh, I see what you're saying, batshit. Yeah. Well, when I get back to Cali, I'll find me somewhere temporary to live, try to find the right spot, and get this property sold. And then once I got the cash, I'll be doing some homework. And if there's an agricultural exemption and that helps me afford a bigger chunk of dirt and I can build it out, or if I could get charity status so that I'm tax exempt kind of thing, that could go a long way too. So I got some homework to do when I get back to Cali. I'll figure it out. My heart is pure when it comes to this dog rescue thing. And if I could do it on a big scale, I will. I just, after what happened here, took a lot of wind out of my sails. It really did. Kicked my ass. I didn't think it was going to be so difficult to do what I wanted to do. I thought I would find help. Instead, I found adversity. But you know what they say, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, and I'm not dead yet. Well, on that note, I was hoping we'd get to 20, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I think I'm going to get off of here, get after some dinner. But once again, thank you guys. I really appreciate you very much. You helped me get through the day. You're good people. You know how to treat each other. I can read it in your comments. It means a lot to me to know that there's still good folks out there. No matter what I've been through here, you guys keep me on the right path. You keep me from getting bitter, and that means a lot to me. You know, it'd been real easy for me to get more and more angry after everything that I've been through. But my doggies humbled me. And this experience was a learning process. And like I said, when I get back to Cali, I'm a new man. And for that, I'm very grateful. Just like I am for all you good folks down there. So, on that note, love the ones that love you back. Do your very best with the rest. And don't forget, a kind act for a stranger. Hold the door open. Grab that cup of coffee and a donut for the homeless guy on the corner. Break him off a little something, something. Lead by example. Doesn't matter who's in the White House. You can make a difference. We can all make a difference. And who knows, one day, hopefully, I can meet you folks face to face and break bread. I would love to meet all of you, give you a hug, and show my appreciation. You give me hope. Thank you. We'll talk soon.